I'll tell you, I had a major screw up. Major screw up. And I think I told you about what it was. And it wasn't not renting the cable trencher. The major screw up was this thing is not the easiest to program.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're all this way.
Oh, I do remember you telling me about this now.
Yeah. I don't know if they're all this way. And I'm guessing they probably are not. But it's a very rudimentary transmitter. And in fact, whenever I called I was doing warranty, I told them what I did, and they were like, we've told them that they need to make that more user friendly, and they won't do it. So it's a problem they recognize, but they haven't fixed it. And so there's a two-step process. One is you set the transmission amount. So there's a certain amount of surge that your dog will get based on the level that you tell it to give it. So training your dog, this specific one gives you the option of starting at a level 0, which is just a tone. So it's a beep. So if your dog gets near the fence, it beeps. So there's no surge at all at that point. So they're not getting any transmission through their collar other than a beep.
Right.
For training purposes. And then it's got a level 7. And really what's interesting is about this one is level 6 and level 7 are progressive. So the closer they get to the fence on level 6 and 7, the more shock they get. And so there's another parameter, which is the radius of that transmission. So you can set this one anywhere from 1 foot to 32 feet, I believe. So I think about that. That's 10 yards.
Yeah.
And that's on either side of that wire. Well, you're going to have a pretty big dog to go through 20 yards worth of shock, right? So I looked at it, and it looked as if I had it set on a 5 foot on either side, which is what I want, and that I had it on a level 0 for beep. And so on the screen, it showed a 0 and a 5, which is 0 for the beep, 5 for the distance that surge, that electrical surge would go. So there's a whole nother process that you have to do, which is you have to hold the collar up to it and basically pair it to that transmitter. I didn't understand that. I also didn't understand that 0.5 that I was seeing was actually the level, like the 0 to 7. It was actually the level and not the distance. So here's what I did. Put the collar on my dog. I'm like, we're going to go out there. We're going to train. That's like a day after, the next day. So I know I've got the flag set out. I'm going to take her out there and just kind of hear the beep. And it explains really, really well how to train your dog. So you go out there, you hear the beep, and you run to the middle of your yard and you just praise them like crazy. And then you take him back out, you hear the beep, you run back to your middle of your yard. So I take her out toward the flag, and she about comes out of her fur. And I heard no beep. Although I know there was a beep. Because it will beep at you no matter what, even if you've got electrical going through it. She jumped about 5 feet in the air, and my dog weighs 20 pounds. Okay, so she's not a big dog. Jumps about 5 feet in the air, yelps like crazy, and was yanking me back to the front door. And I was like, you stupid dog, it's just a beep. Like, what is going on? So I take her back because I'm like, what's going on? Same thing. And I realize that it was at a level 5, not a level 0, just a beep.
Yeah.
So I shocked her with a level 5, which would probably send you and me through a window.
Yeah.
And she didn't come out of her kennel for a day. She peed in her kennel for the first time in her life. Never in her life had she peed in her kennel. She would not go outside.
Yeah.
And she was scared to death. And we had to make the decision that we would not take her. Like we took the collar off of her, and it was 3 weeks before we took her back out with a collar on.
Jeez.
Because I couldn't do it. I mean, she would literally walk. She would go out to the front porch and she would lay down, and she would not leave the front porch. And so I was like, we've got a problem. And even today, it's been, how long have I had that in? A month?
Yeah.
Maybe longer. And I still have not turned it above a beep. Now, they really want you to have it on the lowest setting possible with an electrical current going through it.
Right.
So they want you to, if you can put it on level 1, that's where they want you to put it, because it doesn't hurt the dog. I mean, none of them really hurt the dog. But, you know, the lowest amount of correction that you can give them is optimal. But she hears that beep and she runs back.